Okay. So now we're going to go to Shimon, and I would love for you to give us some information, Shimon. So I'm open up the mic on you, Shimon. All right, there you go. We can't hear you, Shimon. Well, as you work your way in, Shimon, I just will move on just a little bit. Just keep checking your mic and just say something. This way I know that you're on. I'm going back, and I will. Go ahead, sir.
Jackie, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Alrighty. All right. That last program we did change my microphone setting. Anyway, so I want to try to horseback or piggyback, prefer horseback, right off of what Lazone was talking about. Let's say that you have a constrained budget and you want to do a marketing campaign, and you can make a choice. I would suggest that, let's say if you're a moderately savvy or business, get someone that can make you a visually and both in style and in content nice site. But let's say you don't want it, you can get stock photos to supplement your site, and you could differentiate yourself by getting local talent, people who are, let's tap into, utilize the arts locally, get a nice photographer that you know locally, get some people who are looking to become models and actresses or just looking to have fun, and get a diversified look, get some designers to donate clothes, and now you can do a little show, exchange it for photos, maybe augment it with a stipend, and now you can have a uniquely and nice looking original photography on a website at a moderate cost. And then that's another way that you can play with yourself. To just stand out beyond just getting you want to get a site to hold a place. If you don't have a website today, it's like you're not in the yellow pages, like that was said before. You're not in the game. No one knows that you're there because your website's open 24/7. Your business is open when you're awake, or whatever your hours are. And then I would say the next thing that people really need to be cautious, and is listed here. So the third from the bottom is, you might do it on the e-commerce. You might see it on, which means you take a credit card. When I say payment processing, it means you're taking credit cards, debit cards, rewards cards. This is something that our community really omits, and it's one of the things that many businesses lose a ton of money in because it's not well understood. When you take credit cards, when you're taking payment processing, one, it allows you to get more customers. Fewer people walk with cash than they used to, and they don't walk with that much cash because if you lose your debit or credit card, you don't lose your money. You can get it back. If someone steals it and does fraud, you have to go through some hoops rather, but you can get that information back. Someone steals your money, you're less likely to get your money back. Cash is king, but cash can't easily be replaced when it's stolen. So for convenience, especially if you're in doing a type of business where credit card transactions, debit card transactions are convenient, that's where you want to be. However, you must understand your business. You need to know your NAICS codes. We talked about in the previous discussion, which is your North American Identification Code. Without your NAICS code determines the level of insurance you have, including along with your address and your type of business. It also affects the type of risk in your credit card processing. You need to make sure that you have equipment, no limited or no batch fees, limited or no transaction fees, and that you understand the fee and interest rate for the different types of transactions. And if you're a physical business, it's in your best interest to get things where you can have someone sign the paper, the little receipt. That lowers your fee rate, which it keeps more money in your pocket. Another really good thing to watch out for is these are contracts that have to be read thoroughly. So I wouldn't go into any card-to-card processor that just stops by the door. Go get a lawyer or bring them to an incubator or the small business development center or someone you know or a local university and say, what is this contract saying? Because in credit card processing, if you normally get $5,000 in transactions, you say you own a local bodega and grocery store, you got something in there, and you get about $5,000 a day. And there's a festival, like here in Boston, there was the Dominican Day Festival, and then there was a Fisherman Festival on the same day, different areas. And let's say traffic went up, and you got $20,000 worth of traffic. Great day for you. You may have gone out of the scope of what your credit card processor, either the one that handles your card or someone in the middle, some middle organization thinks that your business should go, and they're going to say fraud or something's out of the norm, and your money could be frozen for 90 days. You're still going to get your money, but they're collecting interest on your money, and you're not getting your money. And some of them, depending on how ethical they are, may or may not communicate this with you. A lot of people don't catch this. This is the backgrounds in doing your business. The things which means you may not go out of business, but your profitability, your cash flow is going to be severely affected by not understanding these. And you should be comfortable in bringing in attorneys, consultants, accountants, tax people, attending functions yourself, where you can understand this or know who you can ask to understand this, so where you're keeping more money in your pocket. And then we can go as a community and transition from minimum $10 as far as minimum transaction. Whenever I see that in my neighborhood or any neighborhood, or I see it at a gas station, I immediately know that they don't have a good contract with their credit card processing, because they're trying to offset those extra fees and those extra interest rates. They're really fee rates. Well, some people call them interest rates, with having a minimum $5 or $10 or $20, $15 purchase. Because below that, they feel that they're losing money, and they probably are. And that comes from not having good contracts. How does that come into marketing? Marketing, having good contracts in your business processing, having good contracts, and understanding your legal, understanding what tax system you're in, your LLC, your insurance, affects your price. Because now if you have, let's say that two neighbors are next to each other, and let's make a simple store. I wish someone could give me a suggestion on the store, but let's keep them with the bodegas. Two neighborhood stores, neighborhood bodegas, one across the street from each other. And the people could walk to either one, but there's so many people that they can choose from. So they're not really competing with people, right? Well, and they have, one can lower the price, say that they got a bag of chips. And the bag of chips is $1, right? And if you raise it, you can't raise it to $1.25 because the people could walk right across the street. So you can only play with a price, let's say 20 cents. But because you don't understand your contracts, your strategy isn't sound, your tactics and what you selected, and your payroll systems and all these other issues are in the background, you are pushed on your margin. You got to go up there, you're right at the $1.20, and you're barely clearing like a 2% margin. The neighbor across the street understands that, has better contracts, maybe, and is able to go, when you go to $1.20, able to go to $1.10, but they only need 95 cents. So although they have a lower price, and they're general consumers, they have more profitability because more of their money goes in their pocket rather than slipping out. And that's cost or pricing strategy, which is part of marketing, but it's not the sexy part of marketing. You know, it's not the advertising or the websites, but that comes into your website. That comes into, do you go over there and you spend money for a big website or for a small website? Do you go and list yourself on the radio? Do you join the local business association? Is the laws that are changing going to affect you? If they change the bus stop by one stop, will that affect you? And sometimes if you have a lot of stores and a lot of competition, and they move the bus stop half a block, a full block, you could get more or less customers because of, there's a lot of competition and availability. And we as business owners need to start looking at the inner workings of our business and seeing how all this stuff comes across on the website. Because every time, or in your social media and your narrative, as Jacqueline was saying, these things, although they don't overtly and like simply come across in your narrative, but people can tell. You're talking to your customers in your price. You're talking to customers in the layout of your store, in your lighting, and how you interact with them. And unless you're a very benevolent and kind person, which hopefully you are, if you are stressed about your business because you're pressed on the margin, you may be stressing your employees, and likely your employees are interacting, and yourself are interacting in a less positive way with your consumers or any of your other stakeholders like the community. And that affects maybe not your money today, but it affects your money in the long run. And and it also affects your health and well-being. You might be making money, but you're there until midnight at night because you can't sleep because you're worried about that. And I know this firsthand because as a business consultant, I do management, sustainability, change management, marketing strategy, that fun stuff. You have many business owners that are out late at night, way after the stores close, running their numbers, worried about inventory coming in the next day. Are they going to make payroll? They come home, they bring that stress home, so now they have a home life dynamic that's stressing them out. And these are critical to get under control if we take the time and get these fundamental things put into place. Then you could do all the innovative stuff you want. You could be very, very simple, keep it simple, but you handle the fundamentals. You bring it, you get comfortable, you engage yourself. There's a lot of free help to get you comfortable with what questions you want to ask. And then you bring in, at the times that you feel that you're ready, you bring in your tax person, you bring in your attorney when it's necessary, you bring in a consultant, you bring in the vendor that you want to, and now you're able to make sound decisions that help your company in the long term. And as you're an entrepreneur, you're thinking about this, I would encourage, even if you haven't started your business and it's just an idea and the pen hasn't started writing, as you're listening to Jacqueline Lazone and I speaking to others, go out there in your community, and there ought to be like a nearby university, a nearby community college, maybe the Small Business Development Center itself, SCORE, a variety of other ones that are out there depending where you live in the country. And attend these workshops. They're like either free, $10, $25. Sometimes they're $50 if you're talking about import export. They're very rarely more than that. And you get comfortable, so you could decide if you want to go to an association that's $300, $500 plus, because you've made the determination that I think that my stakeholders are there, and you start making more educated things, and even if things don't work out the way you plan, it helps you go next step left or step. If you were walking down a path and there were thorns in the center of the path, you have a choice to go to the left or the right. But if you're walking down at night or you're blindfolded and you run into the thorns, you don't know if you to go left or right. You just know you're stuck. It's time for us as a community, as business owners, as people that support business owners, to take off the blinders and the blindfolds, get the starriness out of our eyes, and say, oh, the thorns in our path. Do I want to go left or do I want to go right?
Okay, well, thank you. That is so great, and that is such relevant information. planning is so key. And if a lot of times you want to know what does a consultant do, that's one of the main things that a consultant is going to do for you. The consultant is going to help you plan. The consultant is going to help you see the big picture. They're going to ask you a lot of questions that may not seem relevant. But what they're going to do as a consultant is, what can we do to look at all your existing resources, your goals, everything that you have, and to see how can we best leverage what you have to get there. And that's the whole purpose of the technology. Technology will allow you to do it less expensively, but or less expensive, okay? But without a plan, that can be very expensive. It can be very taxing on your time, your energy, and he said this even takes a physical toll. So you want to plan. You want to take an overall look. So we're bringing you today some just different points and different things. And Fran McNeil, she wasn't able to make it back over on this side, but she's with us earlier. And I will post everyone's website. And you want to make sure that you do. I'm going to put in an Urban Tech Fair, that you go to urbantechfair.org and that you join our, and you get on our email list so you can stay updated. And this way, when you stay updated, you can get information. When you get our e-blast, you can immediately click onto the people, find out more about them. As Shimon was stating, you check the credibility, credentials, and style of any consultant you're consulting with, and speak with them. Just make sure consultants and coaches, a lot of times they call it coaching now, it can be very personal, so you have to be comfortable with their style for you, but you need to just add that to your mix, because the consultant is going to help you develop the overall plan and see. You might need 100 things, but you may only need, for right now, to get, you have a certain overall goal. In order to get there, there are certain things that need to happen first, and the consultant will help you see that. So you may need 100 things you may need to do, and these other things may all be good, but before you can get there, you might need to do these things. And so these 4 things may need to happen first, and they only cost so much. So that's where your focus goes, and once you implement that, you will see some level of growth and change, and that can help spur you on to the next level, But I did want to be able to give you some things, because we have a whole variety of people watching and waiting. You're at different places. But if you have a brick and mortar and you're open, I mean, you have a running business. So one of your key things, of course, you need foot traffic. I need people at least coming in here and looking, so then I can convince them to the sale. So how do I increase my foot traffic? And that was one of the important things that Shimon told you, again, looking at your whole environment. If you're not keeping in touch, and if you are in a local area that is accessible by public transportation, yes, the change of public transportation is going to change the amount of foot traffic, especially if it becomes away from you. Well, because if I get off a block away and I got to walk back another block, which may be out of my way, in order to get to you, chances are I'm not going to do it. And so now you're impacted. A lot of times in our urban areas, there's a whole lot of gentrification and change going on. They're ripping up streets, trolley. I've seen entire businesses go. And then, of course, they went and purchased all of those businesses because they could not sustain the time it took for the change while they were totally ripping up tracks in the L. And they were most totally dependent upon local traffic. But it was not just public transportation, because no one could park there. I actually worked in an art gallery, and they were redoing the tracks, and boom, 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 all of these. I mean, the sound alone from the jacks hammering made it offensive to even be around. We literally was just closing up shop. And some of those businesses lasted, but a couple of them could not last that change. And then the whole area, the businesses just could not take it because they took a long time to do it. I mean, I think it was purposeful because something that was supposed to be just 1 month, 3 months turned almost into 2 years, which shut down all of those businesses. They were not able to survive. So these things are very important that you need to understand the atmosphere. Is renting or owning, which one is better? Can I get ownership? Is this area marked for gentrification? If it is, you do know the value of your place is going to start skyrocketing and rents are going to go up. Are you going to be able to afford that? For how long? So again, that's all important for you to understand the atmosphere that's going on around. So you need to be part of your community, not just that local community, but are you part of the political community? Do you know who your representatives are? All of those different things you want to make sure that you know and understand and engage. And those are things that you can engage and get to know and part of your process that really doesn't cost much. But again, this is all about strategy. So, but in that, you want to make sure that you have your Google Plus business page. Well, at least if you start there, then you can go to, hi Jeffrey, Jeffrey's going to call, and you do your Google Plus business page. Then you go on to Yahoo and Bing. Make sure you have business pages there. Make sure you verify those listings. Verified listings compared to unverified listing, it shows if you are not a verified listing. So you want to breed confidence, make sure you verify your listing. And then from there, you need make sure you have to have a website. So if you don't have a website, make sure you get a website. Even though that business page gives a great snapshot, people should be able to go from that business page to your website to get more. Any opportunities to shop, and any way you can connect online with offline and drive offline online or both. Online you can put when you come in. Like if you shop right now online, I may give you a 5% discount. But since the core of my money is in the shop, but if you download this coupon, bring it into the store, you get a 10%. If you share it with somebody and they bring in a coupon that they receive from you and you're going to be able to track it so that to tell, then you'll get another 15% discount off your next shopping experience. You put incentives, different things that you can add in to drive people online, offline, and offline, online. Again, you want to make sure you use your point of sales to grow your database. So not just have people come in and out and leave, that you can't follow up with them again. What can you do to get them to sign your email list? And then your email list, you're not just asking for emails, you're asking for addresses because mailing is still good. You want to put in votes of confidence, you mail out on a consistent basis. Now, not every month, maybe once every quarter, is probably good. If you can afford a mailing, a postcard mailing once a quarter, that's good. And in between, you're hitting them with email. But or if you can do door-to-door flyer distribution, whichever becomes more cost-effective. Look at partnering. The local supermarkets, they're sending us. Can I participate in those send-outs? And at what cost can I participate? Well, look at driving online, offline, and offline, online. And when you make that marriage, you will definitely grow your business and opportunities because people go online to search, but there's still people that love that hands-on, in-store, one-on-one human interaction and process. And what I'm letting you know so significant, online businesses that were solely online are starting to get to obtain a brick and mortar location. They may not be open up chains, but at least one brick and mortar location, whether it's a showroom, a place for people to come in and interact. They're establishing at least one brick and mortar location. So having a brick and mortar is not passe, it's very good. But to grow your business and to be sustainable, you need an online presence and you need to develop strategies to drive online people offline and to connect with your offline people online. This way you keep a connection. Don't just allow people to come in your store and leave and never know how you're going to follow up with them.
Hey, Jackie, can I hop on that?
Yes.
All right. So I had the Boston Green Fest this weekend, right? It's in Boston. It's a music, art, and um, environmental green awareness festival for over 3 days. Now we have small vendors and large vendors. And if you look at large vendors, we're talking, we had Geico there, Suncrest, um, BMW, Zipcar, and a few others. The larger companies are not there at these festivals to make a sale. The smaller organizations, well, they need revenue. They're there to make a sale. The larger companies know if I can get you where you are at, the things that you care about, you're likely to see me again. So they'll touch you at the festival, and then you'll maybe go to your college and they'll touch you at your kid's college, and you'll see the commercial. You might come around and see the banner ad because they know we're so barraged with information. You need to see something 7 to 21 times. If it's a billboard, it's 21 times. If something more personal, it's around 7 before you really recognize it. Remember, you ever walk down the street and go, "Oh shoot, I didn't know that was there. When did I get there?" That's because you can't look at everything. Your mind is blocking a lot of that stuff out. 721 times. So if you're sometimes your marketing, your plan might not bring a dollar immediately in, but it might be bringing that eyes where someone's aware of it, and when they see it again, when they walk down your physical store, and they say, "Oh wow, that's there," they probably walk by your store numerous times, or they've seen something in your store that really appeals to them, and they walk in. And we shouldn't ignore the value of that, because those types of impressions, there are huge companies that make millions of dollars are not even selling sales. Their whole thing is to drive impressions, just eyes on product. So if you take that initiative of getting eyes on product, because if you know how many people need to see your product, need to see your business before they do business with you. So let's say you're the local bodega and you need 30 people getting off the bus and only one of those 30 would come in the bus. Then you know that you need to be at prime times, when the bus increases, doing something to drive those people in, and then you can make determinations. So that was just my point on that. Look at those impressions and drive traffic into your business. Find out where your people are. Sometimes your customers aren't in typical places, and they could be a customer 3 blocks over that would love your product and love your business, but they don't know where you are. They don't know who you are. You need to see where they're seeing it and bring them into your establishment, and make sure they have a good experience. And if they don't have a good experience in your establishment, talk to them. Apologize and say, "Hey, I'm sorry. What happened?" And they'll talk to you. And if you show that you respect them as a customer, even if they had a bad experience, they'll come back, or at least they'll say, or at least they won't talk bad about you.
Yeah. Yes, and that's important. Your reputation, you want people to say good things, because word of mouth, that's the goal. Your goal is always to get to word of mouth, for someone to say something good and tell their friend, who would tell their friend. That's the goal of marketing, is to get people talking to their friends, because again, we listen to, we respect, we respond to that which we know. And that's why those impressions are so important, as Shimon was talking about. And when he talks about opportunity where people are, and again, this is the way you drive on and offline traffic. Remember, mobile is where everyone is, and mobile is where everyone is going. They're doing more and more over mobile. So even if you have people on the bus, these are people that take public transportation. They're on their phones. But what are they surrounded by on the bus? All on the bus are signs. And at some point in time during your process, you want to look up and read those signs. And it only takes you about 5 minutes or less to read every sign on the bus. but you take them in. They're very much great to invest in. If those people look up there, they see a sign about your business with a website or a link or a code. If they text this to get that, and then you have a captive audience sitting on a bus, you are going to get traffic. And this is how we're talking about leveraging technology. You know these people have phones on the bus. Over 60% of those people are going to have a smartphone or a pad. Over 60% of those people. Another thing, he was saying, know where they are. On trains, if you are near a train station and the high-speed lines or the Amtrak, if those stations are near you. Free papers. Are you near a place where free papers can be picked up? We have a paper here in Philadelphia called the Metro, and they're in cities all over, but the Metro specifically delivers on public transportation for free. People, you can get your Metro paper for free at bus stops and terminals and on your train. So before you go on a train, you pick up your Metro, you read it, you ride, and it's a quick read. But if you want to know a place to advertise, where do I advertise? That's the place you advertise. And then how do I capture? You can have a great sale and all, but how does a person respond to that sale? Don't allow that sale. The only way they can respond is to come into the store, because they may not know you, but what if they can check you out first by checking out your website? What if they text you something and they can get a coupon? It increases the likelihood of them actually coming into the store or them visiting you. Give them another option. And that is why the online is so important, and leveraging that technology. When Foursquare, that's one of the more popular location-based places. And then you can check in, and that's what everyone does. They check in. So you go to, if you say Foursquare, and check in at Foursquare on these days and these times, and you can get this. And you put that in the ad, and you run that ad, 2 to 4 weeks in a local newspaper or newspaper that's read heavily, a free distributed newspaper, you will see a response. You will see a great response, and people will start using it, and you've opened yourself up to new traffic. Again, it's a way to make yourself stand out amongst other ads, because even when you're advertising, you're in shared space, and you have to find a way to stand out. So when we talk about leveraging technology, these are just some type of ideas. We're just giving you overviews, so we want you to follow up. So your first way of following up is to join the Urban Tech Fair. Leave us a comment and say, oh, wow. And you can leave a question. I checked out this webinar, the B2B. It was great. I'm looking for more info. Anyone that comes in, we do have the shared document, which we will be updating with information, so you can go start implementing some things. Anything you implement, let us know. Let us know how it happened. The next thing we definitely want you to do is to follow up with us. So the zone, and they build you the website. I have an online store. I'm a marketing strategist. I can consult with you. You can go to my store and pick up a lot of services. So say if you do want that website, well, you can go to us and buy and get a WordPress hosting. So now because you need a hosted site. The site needs to be hosted. It can't just be hosted on WordPress. If you're really building a site for your business, you want a WordPress hosted. So you can get the hosting through us, and then say, well, I have the hosting, and have the zone and them build it. If you feel you're good and you want to build your own site, we have the opportunity for you to build your own site if you feel like you can handle that. Or if you feel you can do cPanel hosting and you are good at it and you have coding, then you can get your own cPanel hosting through us and build yourself. Or again, and this is something I just recommend because I've seen so many changes and losses. I do recommend to a lot of my small businesses to purchase your own hosting and then go get a professional to build your website. Because it just makes a world of difference. But when I say get your own hosting, so that you're not ever held hostage by other circumstances. Once you get someone, you pay them, they build it, and like the zone say, people may come back to do upgrades, changes. but you should have someone built it in a way that you can keep up your content. You can change, this is happening this week, that's happening this week. You can change that. Design is a whole different thing. It takes a whole new skill for design. And you may have to go back periodically to have design updated. Or if you want something added on, like say if you just start with your site and then later on you say you may want to build out your e-commerce, that takes specialized help. You do want to get a professional to help you to build your e-commerce site because it's just not about building it. Your back end on your e-commerce is extremely important. That back end support, whether or not it's up, you don't want over the holiday times when you're going to get increased traffic in your store, you don't want your site crashing because your back end is not built appropriately and it's not ready to handle this big onslaught of traffic that you're going to get and volume that happens during the holiday season. So these things are important, but they're like, with your strategy, there are ways that you can decrease your cost. So I'm going to put in a link. It's called Do Business Online Store. It's Do Business Online Store. TaylorAdamsMarketing.com. And so, professional Shimon Lazone. I can help you find someone. I help you build your strategy for your website because even for the designer, you need a strategy. So I'm going to help you get a great strategy and plan. I'm not a designer, but I can connect you with a designer, which may be Lazone or maybe Shimon, or I use Rebecca Jenkins. I have different people I use depending on whatever works best for you and your needs. I'll help you build a plan, and then we're going to get a designer. So I do suggest a professional designer unless you really are good at that. Because a designer that's professional, they also think about marketing. You heard when Lazone was speaking, he took you not just the website, but he said, what if you need this coupon? We'll help incorporate a coupon because you do need coupons. There's no way you're in business selling any kind of product, even services, coupons. Everybody wants to save money. A coupon will grab attention every time. So he's thinking about the marketing. It's not just having a website. A website means nothing if it doesn't fulfill your marketing plan. It's part of your marketing plan. It's part of your business and it's part of your marketing plan. It is there to help facilitate sales. So you need to structure it and have a plan for building your site to help facilitate your sales. So that's about all I have for now because we did great. We went over some great things. We gave you a great overview. But to move forward, definitely engage us. And as a brick and mortar, we have a lot of great opportunities for you. We have professionals on every realm. So if you are a Fortune 500 company and you need a website built and you have this IT and you need a server and you need all bells and whistles and apps and all of those things built, we have the people who can handle that. Or if you are a little single store brick and mortar and you're just getting started, we can handle that. So that's the urbantechcareer.org. We provide access to a great community of talent, and that's our job here to showcase what's possible. All salons, barbershops, if you know salons and barbershops, please ask them to contact urbantechcareer.org. We are building up a distribution network. We want to support our salons and barbershops, and we want to partner with them in reaching the community. And we want our salons and barbershops to be the center. You are the center of the community. You have a church, you have salons, and you have barbershops. These are central businesses within our community that have always been a place where people come, get personal, share, and they have longevity. So we want to do a partnership with our salons and barbershops, and we want to cross-promote through our salons and barbershops our local businesses, our local fashion stores, specials. We want to partner with our salons and barbershops in helping us get to the everyday consumer and our local community. So please, just tell them to join at urbantechfair.org at the Jacqueline Taylor Adams. We're going to put up a special forum just for the salons and barbershops so we can begin building a network and advertising everyone and showcasing each other. And that's the same for you. So please join us at www.urbantechfair.org. Click on join and fill out the sheet, and we will stay in touch. You want to call? The number is 1-877-552-7012. I'm Jacqueline Taylor Adams. My extension is 1111. If you don't remember the extension, no problem. I'll put it in the chat. But also, the message will give you everyone's extension. But if you don't want to hear that message, just press 1111 for me. For Jim Newsom, he's the executive producer and founder. Jim, you press 1010. And there are other mailboxes on there. So you can just contact us anytime with any questions that you have, and we will help you out. So as we close out, that's my closing statement, and I'm sticking to it. And so I'm going to have Lazone say a closing statement, and then we're going to close out with you, Shimon. But before I go to Lazone, I'm going to let Jeffrey say hi. Jeffrey is our, you know how you have a groupie? He's our groupie. He is our groupie. Whatever video broadcasting platform we are, whatever one we on, whether it was Freecast, Big Marker, Google, that's Jeffrey. So we just let him shout out.
You must be loyal, because that's
howdy doody, Jeff, okay? All righty, Jeffrey, go ahead. Give us a howdy doody. Unmute yourself. All righty, Jeffrey, you gonna give us a howdy doody? All righty, Jeffrey, this is your time. We're closing out. You've been asking me all week to get on a Google Hangout for 2 weeks now. Well, I guess Jeffrey's busy right now. So we're gonna go to Lazone. All right, Lazone.
Yes.
Hey, you gonna give us a closeout?
Oh, yes. I think it was just a great show, and I'm glad that you had this platform here where we can reach a larger audience and try to drop some knowledge and some insight on them. And we have a lot of talent that is building up. Technology is great. You know, we have known each other since the Lee Green days, and now technology is so far here today, and we're bringing on, I'm meeting brothers like Shimon and Franny and Bonnie, you know, and finding all this other talent. People think that you're out there by yourself. You're not. And the same with our businesses who don't have the knowledge and the know-how. You're not out there by yourself. Come on in out the rain. and that's my story, and I'm going to stick to it.
All right. Okay, Shimon, you going to close us out?
All right, let me turn my video back on. Oh, okay. Hey everyone. Well, I'm Shimon of Safe Consultancy, and like similar to Jackie, but we're a little bit different. I do strategy, pricing strategy, and I like to talk about those things because I'm concerned, and we as Urban Tech Fair are concerned about the overall community, your business. Myself, is how I do. I'm also a consultant, and I worry about business owners and their families and their employees and their other stakeholders, even if you're a policy person, and if you're staying up late at night worried about your business. Because if you are worried about, it's something you care about. It puts food on the table for your family, and something that you spent all that time to grow. Maybe you got it from your grandparents. Maybe it was an idea that you had on a piece of paper at a coffee shop. Either way, it's your baby. And we're like, you got to think of consultants. So if you want to make sure you find the right one, and one that cares about your baby and fits your personality, but can push you. You don't want a yes man, because anybody can be like, "That's a good job, Spike. Really good job, Spike." That's not very helpful to you. You want someone that's going to be attentive to you and push you and make both of you accountable for the goal that you set. I really want people to support the Urban Tech Fair. There are a lot of organizations that are working around nationally, but Jim and Jackie has really put together an organization bringing together people like Lazone, and I remember meeting Mike Green, and for me, that was phenomenal meeting someone like Mike Green, a more seasoned person in the space that I felt alone in. I've been the only brown person at those strategy meetings talking about where they're going to put the new train, which is going to affect somebody's business, and you're wondering where the others. The others are right here in the Urban Tech Fair. Come work with us. Let's do business together so we can have the financial means to have political power. We got to tie money, our mouth, and our votes together. If the three are apart, we're going to be played. But when we put our money, our votes, and our policies together with a sense of community, that's sustainability, that's growing Black and Latino and urban communities right now. I guess I should have said something about my business. So I do strategy, marketing, and change management and sustainability. You know, if you want me, reach out to safeconsultancy.com. I'm the only Shimon Warden, other than my son, in America. So I'm on LinkedIn, Shimon at safeconsultancy.com. Reach out to Jackie. Tell you, if Jackie, you reach out for Jackie, reach out for the Urban Tech Fair, you're going to find me. If you forget about where we're from, you want one of these innovative people, call us up and we'll match you up with whomever you need. And that's what I got to say for right now. I had a great time. I'm glad that this one worked.
Yeah, we got to make sure we get a copy of this to Teresa. Okay, so I want to say thank you for everyone for coming, and Jeff is back in, so we're going to let him shout us out. Okay, Jeffrey, we said you got to give us a howdy doody, Jeff.
Hey.
Come on, Jeff, give us a howdy doody. Okay, that's all you got to say? All right,
I said,
Jeff,
how do you do?
we're going to say good night.
Well, I just said,
Okay, there you go. Howdy do. Jeffrey said, howdy do, y'all. So we're going to say good night. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to say good night, and thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Again, go to www.urbantechfair.org.